House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Everybody, it is Tuesday, so you know what that means. I get to spend time on this Tuesday, and it's the last Tuesday in 2021 that I'm going to get to hang with Liz and Gina from Remax Diamond Realty Guam. Half a day, ladies, and Happy New Year.
Half a day, Jay.
So, seeing as how it is the last stretch going into the current year. I mean, we've been in fiscal 2022 for what, almost 2 months now, and everything like that. But what in the real estate business do people tend to do around like this time of year? Do people actually give houses as Christmas presents? How many transactions have you facilitated like that? That would be awesome.
We do a number of homes during the year, but in terms of people giving homes for Christmas, that's pretty rare, unless of course a bride and a groom gets a gift from their parents. So it's pretty rare that you'll find that, because it's a costly project to come up with.
But pretty rare, but it has happened though.
Yeah, it has happened, right, Gina?
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe the couple time it accordingly. I have a couple that just closed a week ago. So yeah, you can say that was their Christmas gift to themselves.
You can put a big bow on it, say from Santa, right?
Yeah. Or you know what?
Santa, help with my closing cost.
Yeah. Actually, families do pitch in to help with closing costs, so the young couple get a good start, in life. And sometimes couples wait a number of years before they put a down payment because they continue to save over time.
Mm-hmm. Is there Gina, any time during the calendar year that's more advantageous to actually close a real estate deal, either for residential, for commercial, than other times, as far as being closer to tax season, or just market variance? Or
no, you know what I look at is the interest rates. That really starts, that kind of pushes those buttons. If they know, like for instance, recently we've been hearing a lot that the interest rates come next year, maybe by February or March, that the interest rates are going to start going up. And of course, if the interest rate goes up, your buying power goes down. So that means, what you can afford today is going to be different by February or March. And so I have seen people rushing to the finish line because they're trying to close on the current interest rates where they're at before they go up. And that makes a lot of sense because, if you're like I normally always feel like I'm going to keep a property for 30 years, right? That's my old school mentality. So if I figure,
how'd that work out for you?
Beautifully, actually. but because I always think I'm going to hold it for 30 years, for me, it's the interest rate that matters the most. So if I can get it at the lowest amount possible, then that's what, I look at. But like in terms of how do most people close out the year, my personal, this is just how I do things. Come October, November, I start looking at my the properties I pay for, capital, improvements, maintenance issues that I need to do. Because what I'm trying to do, especially if you have investment properties, is I want to spend money now and get all that done and get it clean. I want to get all my books in order. So I spend to do all the maintenance. I make sure the taxes are paid, the insurance, if I forgot a payment, I take care of that. And then that way for next year, when I file my taxes, everything is clean and in order. And so from November until the end of the year, I start organizing my books so that my taxes are good for next year. And that's just a personal thing that I like to do.
Okay, because come February and everything like that, you're going to have to start cutting some pretty serious checks.
Well, I think, yeah. And I think the objective is to file on time. And between Gina and I, we always try to get our documentation together. I haven't been really good about it, but the past couple of years, our tax consultant is so happy that we filed on time rather than waiting, extending and going over. So it is important to put your documentation together, all your expenses on your properties. But it is I think we felt so good, Gina, the past couple of years when we filed on time. The company's always on time, but our personal taxes usually take a while longer. So we want to advise the consumer out there, start putting your receipts together and organize it. Gina's pretty good about that. She'd have a folder A, B, C, D, and she puts all her receipts in order. In fact, she's got me trained in getting my stuff together.
This does not surprise me whatsoever. Gina is like misorganization.
Yeah, exactly.
I try. I mean, we all try, but yeah, we try. Yeah. But it's good practice. And for people who sold property this year, for people who bought property this year, don't wait until crunch time. This would be a great time for you to be digging out those documents, because maybe you put in a folder somewhere, but you got to dig them out. And you know what? Don't just count on your accountant to tell you what is tax deductible. I highly encourage consumers to take out these documents and go online, irs.org, look up what you can deduct. I mean, Google these things nowadays. Shoots, I'm doing that all the time. What can I write off? And then learn it. And then you give it to your tax person and say, hey, here's my receipt. And guess what? I read it on irs.org and I know I could write this off and this and this. Learn how to save money. That's one of the things that you could do.
Okay, how about like a little bit of something that we like to do on this program, right? Like, have you got any like tactical advice for, maybe there are people out there, because, like the last couple of years have been so hard for so many of us, like financially. What if people want to do a real quick real estate deal, say they come up with cash real quick before the tax season comes in for whatever reason, like they want to liquidate like property before February kicks in, before April kicks in and everything like that. What's the best way to do a deal fast?
Well, actually, if it's a cash deal, they can do that anytime. However, a lot of people some of them who are investors wait until the coming year before they liquidate, especially if they've already liquidated a number of properties this year. One of the things, before I forget, want to bring up that if you purchased a property this year, and let's say you don't get your property, your real estate property tax, you've got to go and pay for it anyway. And I'm starting to get previous owners who have received their property tax documentation, forwarding that to me, and then I'm forwarding it to the new owner of the property. So people would say, well, I never got the statement and I didn't pay the tax. Well, guess what? There's still a penalty associated whether you got the document or not. So if you bought a piece of property, and by the way, when you do buy a piece of property during the year, the property tax is prorated. So you get the monies from the previous owner and you are obligated as the new owner to pay it come the following year, whether you got the bill or not. So if you don't pay it, there'll be some penalties associated with the late payment. So again, for us as agents, we've been forwarding the tax documents to the new owners. So just a point of information for everyone. If you bought something, if you didn't get it, please go to Reverend Tax and make that property tax payment regardless.
Good tip. Now, Gina, maybe conversely, what if there are people out there, like, we said, and maybe a little bit jokingly at the top of the show that, maybe there are couples that buy a home, for Christmas or anything. What if there are newlyweds right now, young couple, maybe in their mid to late 20s, and they're just on the verge of closing a deal on a house right now, and it's a week before, it's literally days before New Year's. Should they wait until after until tax day passes to maximize, or should they just close the deal right now and then just does it really matter?
At this point, it doesn't really matter. If you don't close this year, you can't take advantage of the tax benefits for this year. Once this year is gone, like if you close February next year, then that tax benefit will be for 2022. It doesn't apply to 2021. So if you're going to close and you can close right now, because honestly, the interest rates have been going up pretty small percentages right now, but by next year, it is going to go up even more. So if your lender has already given you the go signal to close, then I would say close. Take
Okay.
advantage of it now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
don't delay. A lot of buyers are locking in the rates, and if it goes beyond the locked in rate date, again, there's another penalty. It changes.
okay.
So they should close as soon as they've locked that rate in, because the rates will go up in 2022. At least that's what we're hearing, that there'll be a change.
So move
Yeah.
move now while the moving is good. Okay. Speaking of closing and everything, let's close out our year together as a team. And I'd like to ask each of you real quick, because we got about 20 seconds. And we'll start with you, Liz. In one sentence, what is one thing relative to the real estate business that you're looking forward to in 2022? One thing.
I think COVID has really left a damper on many of the individuals on the island. Their salaries have suffered, and as a result, they're unable to buy anything because their income has been affected. So I think for 2022, I look forward to a fresh new year where people get a good start with their jobs and more stability in our economy and in the private sector. And of course, our role is to assist these people.
So stability. Hopefully we are going to get there. Fingers crossed. Okay. And Gina, what do you look forward to most in 2022?
You know, there's a lot of federal monies out there for infrastructure for the government of Guam. And if we can put our heads together and figure out a way to use that money to help the community, to help put in infrastructure so more people could build on their land, to figure out how the government could be more proactive, helping individuals so that we can start actually look at affordable housing, even though it's still going to be high, better than what we have now. You know, whatever we can do, Liz and I and REMAX, to move that forward in 2022, I think that would be something really great if we can accomplish it.
Well, God willing. Well, ladies, it's been another interesting year. Certainly very, very trying, but it's always been really helpful for me to have the two of you to guide us in this journey that we're all on together. So thank you as much for your friendship, for your guidance again, and Happy New Year to you both and the team down at REMAX.
Happy New Year.
All right. See you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.